Hi pals, welcome back to another round of Did Casey Waste Her Money? The answer is probably yes, but let's just do this. I think this is fun and I kind of like holding myself accountable this way. So yeah, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna run through all the books I read in October that I have physical copies of that are just stuck in a pile from how I put them after my wrap up, and let's talk about if I'd buy them again or not. First, What Happened to You? Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. This I have very mixed feelings on. This has some stuff in here, like it's got some charts and stuff in here that I think are really interesting. Yeah. But I don't know if I would buy this again, primarily like because I bought this because my therapist recommended it to me like early on when I started seeing her, and I am a sucker for an authority figure tells me to do something and I go fucking do it until they piss me off. And so I bought this, and I think the biggest thing I have an issue with is that this was $30 fucking dollars. And I just ended up having like conflicting feelings about this book. It wasn't like this new favorite of mine or anything, and so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about spending the money on it, and I think that means that I probably wouldn't buy it again. Next one I have in the pile is Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. This is another one, same song, second verse of the previous one. My therapist recommended this to me, I think the same day she recommended the previous one, so I went out and I bought a physical copy of it, and it was like $30 or $40 because this bitch is huge. And I don't know, this one I have less conflicting feelings on. I think that this is just kind of this is a little bit more accessible for the most part. Not that either are inaccessible in any means, but to me that this is more of like, oh, I could put this, like, even though I hate this cover with a passion, I could put this on our coffee table and this would be a nice thing to talk to people about if they were in our house and saw it and picked it up and to flip through. So I feel less conflicted about this, but I think overall, because I still have some conflicted feelings, I wouldn't buy this again. Definitely not at the price I paid for it. Moving on to Body Shocks, a body horror anthology. I would buy this again. This wasn't like a particularly groundbreaking anthology in my mind. There are some of these in here that I don't even remember anything about them, but I really like having anthologies, and quite frankly, I really like, I like, on one hand, love this cover because it's so graphic and it's kind of gross. On the other hand, I wish it was more graphic and I wish it was more gross, but I would absolutely buy this again, especially because I have a lovely growing anthology collection. Next one I have is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Lynn. Oh, I really like this cover. I think it's beautiful. I can't wait to see it on my shelves, especially because I think it's got just a gorgeous spine. No, I wouldn't buy it again. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have purchased this. I will keep it for a really long time because I did pay for it and did pay full price for a hardback. But no, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. I should not have bought this. I got too hyped by how pretty the cover was and by people talking about it, and I was like, you know what, that's young adult fantasy, which I don't super jive with, but I bet I'm still gonna love it and give it 5 stars. No. And I knew that about 2 minutes after I purchased it, and that's my own damn fault. The next one I have in the stack is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I've had this for a long time now. I'm trying to see when this was originally published, so I can tell you how long I've had it. 2011, I've had this for, is that 12 years now? Yes, I would buy this again. I would buy this a million more times. I love this. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I reread it this month because this has perfect autumnal vibes and I wanted that. And yes, I would buy this again, and I would also buy many copies for many people, just like I've done for the last 12 years of this book again. On to Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I would buy this again. I bought this used at a bookstore up in Denver, and this also I think has in here somewhere, like, yeah, it's got an author signature in here, which I think is really cool, but I bought it super cheap, and I really like Moreno Garcia's work, and I also really enjoyed this, so yes, I would 100% buy this again for $8. On to Haunted Nights, another anthology. Yes, I would buy it again. This has one of the ugliest covers I've ever seen, but I do like a good anthology. I wish that this looked, I think this looks like a haunted house anthology. I'm just gonna bitch about the cover for a minute. The cover screams haunted house, especially with the title Haunted Nights. It doesn't tell you that this is Halloween themed. All of these books are set in and around Halloween, and they deal with different spooky things, but it's a Halloween anthology. What about this says Halloween? None of it. none of it says Halloween. It says haunted house, which is why I bought it. So, rant over. But yes, I would buy this again. I really enjoyed this, and I like having anthologies, and currently I'm in a collecting state for them. So, next one I have is In Defense of Witches by Mona Chalet. I didn't buy this. I got this for Christmas. I really do like this cover. I think it's really pretty. All of my books currently have their spines facing out. They don't have any of the covers facing out, but I think when I settle my nonfiction shelf, which is way up here, and I'm not going to try to move the camera up because I'll never be able to get this back, I might try to face this with this cover facing out because I think the cover is really pretty. The spine doesn't really tell you that it's going to look this beautiful, but yes, I would absolutely have someone buy this again for me at Christmas. I enjoyed it well enough. On to The Women of Troy by Pat Barker. Oh, I paid full price for this, which was $17, and no, I wouldn't buy it again. I'd buy it used, 100%. I think that this is going to be a lovely addition to my collection, but I should not have bought this full price. I'm going to try to read The Silence of the Girls sometime, maybe. Oh, yes, actually, definitely in December if I can swing it. But I'm not going to buy a copy of that unless I absolutely love it or I see it used, because this wasn't at all worth it. I'm glad it's going to be in my collection, but it's not something I'm going to revisit. And on to our last one, A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. This is another one that I bought used, and yes, I would buy it again used. I really enjoyed this one. I am really not committing to buying anything from Paul Tremblay at this time because I have such a hit and miss history with him. Like, some of his shit hits really hard, The Pallbearers Club, and the rest of it's either been meh or pretty okay, which was this one. And I did enjoy this one. I'm glad to have this in my collection, and I am really glad I picked it up used in particular. That's it. That's me doing an honest assessment on the books I read that I have physically and whether or not I should have spent money on them. This is really fun for me because I think it helps. I think it's helped me a lot in the last few months be more intentional with what I purchase, and so I'm going to keep doing these because they're fun for me, and I hope you have fun. Please leave any comment you want down below, like, comment, subscribe, do all the algorithm things if you feel like it. I will see you next Friday, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.